Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you are doing well, and I hope the week it has been good for you. So as usual, right, we are going to be reviewing the weekly trades, right, that we took within this week. So we are continuing with this weekly review session on trades, right? So I'm just going to show you the trades that we actually took within this week, right? So I'm just going to show you within the trade history channel, right? And then we can move to trading view, right? So you can definitely see that this is the first trade that we actually had within the week, right? And it was actually a buy on gold, right? It actually took time, and we had to hold this trade overnight, right? But it ended up going towards the expected direction, right? And we actually had the second trade, right, on US 30, which was actually a loss, right? Which was actually a loss. That was a stop loss hit there, and that was on Monday, right? That was on Monday. The trade was on. We took those trades on Monday, and they closed on. That was on Tuesday, right? So these were the trades, and then on Tuesday, we took another buy on US 30, which actually moved as expected, right? That was a win trade, right, on the same uh, very day, right, on Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, we actually had another 1:2 0.5 risk to reward ratio on gold, which was also a good trade, right? And it actually went as expected. And on the same day, that was a break-even stop hit on US 30. And then that was on Wednesday, right? On Thursday, and this was actually a stop loss hit on Thursday, right? We're actually expecting this market to to give us a reversal move here, right? Due to those strong rejections, right? And we're expecting it to drop and give us a potential of a 1:2 risk to reward ratio on sales, and it didn't went well as expected, right? So what I'm just gonna do is I'm just gonna go back to to the first setup that we actually had within this week, and then we can go there and look at the reasons why we're actually expecting a buy, right, on that gold setup, right? So I'm just gonna go to my trading view, right? I'm just gonna go to my trading view, and we're just gonna go to gold, right, and go and look at that setup that we actually took there, right, right. So this is the setup, right? So this is what I actually do, right? This is what I actually do. So this setup was actually taken on Monday. I just want it to be like this, right? So this setup was actually taken on Monday, right? But it played out through to the next day, which is Tuesday, right? So the thing is, I was actually expecting a continuation, right, for this market to continue buying, right? So the thing is, we were expecting this asset to actually come to this zone, right, and then expect buys, right? So if you can see, I had highlighted golden zone here, right? So the previous week, which was on Friday, we're actually expecting this market to come back to these points, and then we expect buys from these areas, continuing with the market going upwards, right? But the thing is, this market had to shift its structure, right? I think I explained this in the previous video, right? And then we're expecting to see this market continuing from this point, right? But the thing is, throughout Friday, it had to drop coming to this zone, right? So we could have actually waited for it to come, and we could have maybe taken our position right on Monday from this zone, right? We could have taken buys down here and expected a continuation, right, with the market, right, as we go, right. But the thing is, this happened while we were actually asleep, and this was actually around 1 to 4 o'clock, right, 4 o'clock a.m., right, South African time, right. And then the market started buying from those levels, right? Which means if we would have set buy limits here, then put maybe our stop losses below the structures, right? We could have somehow survived maybe the 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 market, right, triggering our stop losses, and maybe we could have taken buys from these positions. Or if we're actually awake, we're definitely going to be taking positions around this point and expecting this market to continue going upwards, right? So the thing is, we were actually missing some other setups, right, because the structures were not actually confirming as expected, right? So the reason for us looking for a buy, right, it was this market respecting certain structures, right, on the 5 minutes time frame, right? But the thing is, the market kept on consolidating throughout the night, and then the following day, this is where the market started buying, right? So if we could have held this trade, because we're expecting gold to actually buy for quite some time, right? But we're actually paying attention to a 1:2 risk to reward ratio, right? If we could have hold these positions from this point, we could have actually made massive profits, right? So we are not looking at holding trades for a long time, right? We are looking for opportunities to buy whenever the market is buying, right? Because we are looking at a risk to reward ratio of 1:2, 1:3 most of the times, right? Right. So this is how we actually got this buy, right? It went closer to our stop losses, right? But later on, it actually had to push to the upside, right? So this was the setup that we had on gold from the trade history that I was actually showing you, right? And this was actually the second trade that we actually got there, right? So we could have gotten another potential, right, for a buy, right, exactly here. But we wanted the market to drop and at least come around these levels, right, for us to continue with this market, right? But it didn't actually do what we're expecting. So it had to keep on pushing, right, going upwards. And we didn't actually take any positions, right, for gold during this move to the upside, right? But this is where we actually came and got another opportunity again, right, for a continuation, because this actually respected the structure that I was expecting to be buying from, right? So I wanted the market to drop and come back to retest, right, this demand zone, right, which is what actually happened. And we actually got a 1:2.65 risk to reward ratio, right, on this move, right? And this is actually paid well as expected, right? And then we also hit another potential again, right? Because we're actually expecting a continuation, right, from this point, right? But this was actually a break even. This is where we actually hit a break even stop being triggered, right? So I was actually expecting this asset to actually continue from this point, right? After we bought from this point, market did break above this level, right? And then it pulled back to this demand, right? So I was expecting this market to actually hold right? I was expecting it to hold, and then we can buy from this level, continuing with the market up, right? So this is where we actually hit. That was a break-even stop. If I'm not mistaken, right? That's right. So this I didn't actually shade, right? But this was actually a break-even made on another account, right? So this was actually not shared with the community. So this is actually out of the picture, right? So for the trades that were shared with the community, these were the two trades of gold, right? And yesterday, right, on Thursday, we're also expecting this asset to actually come back for this demand zone, right? This was the possible buy zone, right? We're expecting gold to come and trigger this zone, right? Which is something that we actually missed, right? Didn't come to the area that we're expecting to come. So this was actually a missed trade. And look at what happened with gold. It actually bought very well, right? So we ended up ignoring this, right? We could have maybe looked for an opportunity after they did break above this level, and the opportunity was actually there. We could have taken buys from this point, right, and then continued with the market, but we totally ignored this asset, right, because I didn't want to take positions, right, like this, right? If I was definitely going to be looking for an opportunity, this is what I was going to be paying attention to, right? I would have wanted this asset to come to this area and then maybe take buys from these positions, right? From this area of price, right? But it didn't actually do that, so we totally ignored it. So now what we are expecting to see here, I'm expecting this asset to at least come for this zone, and then maybe we might actually see a continuation from there for buys, right? So we're just gonna wait and see how they're definitely going to be reacting in this week to come, right? So if you can go and look at the daily time frame, you can see that this market is still bullish, right? And there's actually a potential for this market to continue buying for quite some time. So let's see if it's definitely going to be respecting the zone or the structure that I've actually marked there. So I want it to come for this, and then maybe we can buy from this level. That would be something like this, right? So I'll be expecting it to come for this and then maybe continue, right? So let's see how it's definitely going to react this upcoming week, right? So I want it to drop, come for that demand zone, and then buy, right? So we are just going to pay attention to this and see how it's definitely going to react, right? So if it drops, I'm going to be paying attention to this. If there's a strong reaction or strong rejection here, we continue buying the market, right? And these were just the two setups that I actually shared with the community, and these were actually wins, right? And going to the next asset, which is the US30, right? Which is the US30, right? And this was on right. This was on Monday, right? The trade that we actually took on Monday, and we actually held into Tuesday. That actually hit our stop loss, right? This was the trade, right? So we're expecting our overall another thing, our overall bias on US30 was for it to come for this zone, right? And this is what I had shared with the community, that we want this asset to actually come back for this. And I think I explained that in my previous no, I think I explained this during the live trading session, right? I explained this during the live trading session, right? And with the community, right? And we're actually expecting this asset to buy from this level and then continue as far as those previous highs on the daily time frame, right? The previous highs on the daily time frame, right? But this is what happened now, right? We're expecting this asset to drop, come to this level, to this zone, right? And then we're looking for buying from this zone, right? But when the market did break above these highs, right, we had to look at this market either coming for this demand and continue buying, right, or respecting this zone here, right? Respecting this zone here, right? So when I observed that there was a rejection here, I had to take the buys exactly at this point, expecting a continuation to this level, right? So the thing is, this asset didn't move as expected. It came for the stops, right? This is the stop loss that we had within the week, right? This is the stop loss that we had within the week, right? And then unfortunately, the market came back for that zone, right? Which means if you would have set our buy limits here, we could have been triggered from this point and we could have still been holding those buys, right? Because I was expecting a strong swing, right, from that area. And I was expecting to be holding it up until now, right? But the thing is, this happened while we were asleep. And then we had to take buys from this position that actually gave us what? A 1:2.45 risk to reward ratio, which was actually a win, right? So we're looking for continuations on on buys, right? Because we're looking at a continuation of a bullish market, right? So we took this as a win, and this is another trade that we also had as a break even, right? We had a break even stop here, triggered, right? We're expecting also a continuation because we did break above this level that we're expecting to be holding trades to, right? And then we actually created some structures and we actually reacted to, right? So we're actually paying attention to the demand above, but we actually came back for this demand, right? This is the demand that we actually came back to, right? So we had an early entry, expecting this market to align with the time, right, and structure, right? Expecting to get a continuation buy from here, right? So if you can see, if we could have maybe waited for this asset to actually come back for this, right, to come back for this demand, right, we could have taken a good win on this trade, right, even though we're going to be holding it up until to the next day, right? So isn't for us, we actually paid attention to this demand, right? This is what I was actually paying attention to, right? And the thing is, our stop loss was actually below this structure, right? So we moved quickly to break even, right? If we had hold this trade and then maybe left our stop loss below, right? Something like this. If we had left our stop loss below this structure like this, right? We could have gotten this trade as a win, right? So we are not patient enough to wait for the market to at least gain momentum and push to the upside, right? So the thing is, we moved our stop loss quickly, right, to the break even, and then this had to be a break even trade, right? So if you can go back to that trade, right, you can definitely see that the stop loss was actually below the demand that we actually marked, right? If we had maintained it like this, we could have actually gotten this trade as a win, right? We could have actually gotten this trade as a win because our stop loss was actually below that point. But when they moved and came to this high, right, we had to move to break even so that the market can just continue and then maybe go for our targets. But they had to come back for this extreme demand on the structure and then trigger it and then continued buying, right? So if we could have just left our stop loss there, held this trade, it could have actually been a win, and we could have actually got this as a win within this week, right? And then this gave us a break-even stop trade, right? And then on Thursday, this is what we're also expecting, right? Right. So the thing is, we're expecting to take a rejection there. Let me go on 1 minute so that it can be clear. Right. We're expecting to take a rejection trade, right, at this moment, right? Our mind was actually attached on a continuation, right, for this market buying, right? Right. But the thing is, I was expecting this asset to actually come back to this zone, right? We're expecting to take sales here and also take buys from this point, right? But this actually ended up messing up everything, right? We had to get a stop loss here, right? We stopped out, right? And this actually killed a motivation of getting a continuation buy, right, on these structures, right? So the thing is, we wanted this market to come to this zone, then we look for buying here. So where to sell to buy, right? So when they triggered our stops, right, we just say to ignore this asset and actually move out of what? Move out of the market. So this is another second loss that we actually had within this week, right? And I'm still expecting continuation buys, right, on this asset, and I've actually marked the zone. All right, I've actually marked the zone, and you can definitely see that this asset is actually reacting around this zone, right? Which means this upcoming week, we might also have a continuation, right, of this market buying, right? So the thing is, I wanted them to react around this zone and then continue buying, right? So which means we have a potential for this market continuing as far as this point, because I'm expecting US30 to buy as far as those areas, right? So I was expecting buys from this point up until we hit these highs. So now, since we are reacting from that zone, let's see if we are definitely going to get a market shift of structure, right? And then tap into the internal demand structure here and then continue going upwards, right? So I'm still expecting buys here. So let's see how this week also goes. And did we have any other setup on a different pair? Right. I think that's all. I have reviewed all the trades that we actually had within this week, right? So whatever that I want to see here, I want to see this market doing some sort of right, from here we get a market shift of structure, right? Market shift of structure, and we come for a certain demand structure, and then we actually buy, right? So I want to see this asset giving me something like that, maybe to continue buying it, right? So let's see how this week plays out. And let's see if we're actually going to be getting all those opportunities that I have been pointing out to, right? So I'm just going to go and look at US 100 to see if I can definitely be able to share something that can actually be able to benefit someone this upcoming week, right? So the thing is, we can definitely see that we actually hit. So I wanted this asset to actually come for this so that we can buy, right? But it actually didn't come to that zone, right? So I was expecting it to come to this point and then we can buy, but all of a sudden it started buying from this level, continuing going upwards, right? So looking at this now, we can definitely see that this market somehow it was actually selling from those highest points, right, coming down, right? So looking at this, we can definitely see that on the daily time frame, right, on the daily time frame, the market now is somehow bearish, right? But we have actually broken this this previous high, right? We have broken this previous high, and somehow we've dropped below this structure, right? Which means we might actually have a potential for this market, right, giving us a daily candle that looks above the structure and continue going up for these highs, right? So we still have potential, right, to target these highs and a potential to also see this asset actually coming for those highs, right? So if you are to go on the 4-hour time frame, right, this is what we are actually seeing on 4-hour time frame, right? So we can definitely see that we are actually having a gap here, right? It's already marked, right? So we're having a gap here, right? So is there any potential for this market coming back for this? Yes, it's there, right? So there's a possibility that this market can just come trigger this zone, and then we might expect to see continuations from this zone, buying going upwards, right? Because we might just want to sweep, right, these lows, right? We might want to sweep off this liquidity, tap into this, and then continue, right? But if we don't do that, we're expecting to see another candle looking above this zone, and then we can look for potentials to buy up until these levels, right? Up until to these two levels. So which means we actually have an opportunity for the market coming back for this, right? Market coming for this, and then we buy, right? or for the market to go above the structure. We see it respecting the volume, right? And the zone, and then maybe continue and buy up until to those levels, right? So this is what we are actually expecting to see on real estate, right? So just pay attention to whatever that is definitely going to be happening here, right? On these structures, right? So if it means it is going below this structure, right, we're actually going to be expecting to see maybe the market giving us some volume to the downside, but we are still expecting a continuation here, because you can definitely see that if we are holding at this point, right, if we are holding at this point, the market might actually continue going upwards, right? But if we drop to the downside, we want to see the reaction here and expect the market to continue going upwards. So I think I have given some insights on gold. I have also given some insights on US30. And now I've also given some insights on US 100, right? So just watch out and expect to see a continuation to the upside, right? Since I'm expecting that, and I can definitely see that there's a potential for this market pushing as far as to 22 200, right? 22 200. There's a potential for the market to push towards those levels. So thank you guys for sticking up until to the end of this video. Don't forget to subscribe right on our channel. Don't forget to share these videos with others. Don't forget to like, don't forget to comment, right? So that we can be able to keep on sharing the trades and the information that can also be able to assist you guys in developing your skills, right? So thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much.